Hey folks, this is Andrew from Red, and today we're going to go over what's the top red light therapy bulb you can get off of Amazon. A couple years ago when I first started Red, we were the affordable option on the market. We came in much lower than Juve, much lower than Rejuvenator, and there really wasn't any other affordable panel companies on the market. And nowadays, the tables have turned. I'm no longer the cheap guy. I'm making kind of higher end products, low EMF products, low flicker products, because of my kind of diligence in measuring things accurately and mitigating those issues. So now, my mission has also been how to get red light therapy affordably, and even if you don't buy from me. So I wanted to make sure people are going, if you're going on Amazon, we can argue about supporting a monopoly on online retail, but a lot of people are comfortable with ordering on Amazon, and that's okay. And you want kind of just a cheap thing to get started. You're not sure if it's going to work for you. You don't want to jump into $1,000 investment in a big panel or a couple smaller panels. What are you going to do? And so maybe this is a good way to get into it. Holding in my hands the Wolzek red light therapy bulb. It's got 660 and 850 nanometers, same as Juve, same as all those other big brands. So you could look at this and you look at their specs and their intensity and all these claims they make, and it looks pretty good. But I measured this on my blog, and I've started to compare this to a couple other bulbs on the blog. And this one fell really short. So it showed up when I searched for bulbs as an Amazon choice, but I'm like, it really fell short on, first off, all its claims. And I've talked about this before, the root cause of most of the false claims for intensity in the red light therapy industry is with solar power meters. So if people get, if they're getting measurements from a solar power meter, something that looks like this, the 10 Mars, or maybe a very common one is the TES 1333. If you're getting your measurements from this, it's going to be falsely high, usually by 2x or more. So the company's saying 100 milliwatts per centimeter squared, it's usually under 50, is my experience. So watch out for this, and all the bulbs that I'm going to talk about right now have this flaw. They're not even close to what intensity that they advertise. So that's a huge issue, and I don't know what kind of regulation Amazon has, because I would think Amazon has some sort of level of diligence to make sure people are selling bulbs that are accurate and honest, but maybe not, who knows. So that's a big thing. You can look at the intensity measurements on my blog. I'm not going to go through them all. The Wolzek, like I said, really disappointing for intensity. It's a basic bulb. It had higher flicker than most of the other bulbs too, which the flicker is a modulation of intensity. It's invisible to the human eye because it's usually twice the AC current. So if, in the US, the AC is 60 hertz, this will flicker at 120 hertz. And that's faster than our eye can perceive. Our eye actually or in our brain, stitches it together to be a continuous light source. But that's extra work on your brain and your eyes, and depending on what tasks you're doing or how sensitive you are to flicker, that could become a problem. And then also very high flicker is a modulation of intensity. So again, they're wrong about intensity to begin with. And then you got this flicker, and you've got reflection losses if they're telling you to be 6 inches away. So all these issues really stack up into realizing, oh, I got this cheap thing on Amazon, but the marketing's all wrong, the EMFs are high, and they're telling us weird ways to use it. So you start to stack up with issues. So like I said, I just want to make sure people are getting the right thing. If you search for it, I would recommend, this is my opinion, but I would pass on this one. So let's look at another one. Let's do this one. This one's from PDgrow, and it looked very promising. It looked like it had good power. It's got a very unique like kind of design pattern here. It's got like these little clusters, so there's like 6 bulbs per cluster. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You could actually get pretty good concentrated light intensity out of it. So I was like, oh yeah, this looks good. I measured the intensity. Intensity is really good compared to some of these others. It does have a fan. You probably can't even hear it, but it's just a very silent fan. And you know, again, if you've got a fan in there, that's raising your magnetic field, just by the nature of having a fan. So we'll talk about that. With the magnetic field, let's take a look. We're going to measure it real quick here. And you can see, you get up to 26 milligauss, if that's showing up. So again, so you get a really high magnetic field, in addition to the electric field we didn't show on the other one. But all these lights have the same issue unless you put it in like a grounded lamp stand. But you hear the clicks, you hear how high it's clicking. This one's at 1400. Super high, you know, I mean, that's super high. What are you going to do? And like I said, you know, a lot of experts, studies to tell you to do skin contact, but because of the magnetic field and electric field, especially with these bulb types, there's not much you can do to mitigate the electric field unless you add like a grounded metal mesh, you know, surrounding. But like I said, then you can't get skin contact. So it's kind of like, what do you do? And then you buy this cheap bulb because you want to save money, and then you got to pay for all this extra grounding and safety equipment. The other thing about this bulb with the PDgrow, you might not be able to notice in the video, but these are 630 nanometer red LEDs. I checked it on my spectrometer. I posted the picture of my spectrometer readout on the blog, and this claims to be 670, which if someone's claiming 670, I want to see the report. So they're not even claiming 660, they're claiming 670, and they deliver a 630. So you can tell, I can tell by eye, because it's more orange, it has a little bit of a yellowish hue. If you compare this side by side with another proper panel or light bulb, you'll see right away. It's much more bright, it's much more yellowish and orangish compared to the deeper red of 660 nanometer. So this one, the PDgrow, it's got good intensity, high EMF, and you know, and it's got the the wrong wavelength, which is just hilarious. And that's the problem. It's like, what do you even, you know, you got to know what you're buying. You got to buy from someone who knows what they're doing and will be diligent enough to try to deliver the right thing. So that's a PDgrow. Let's go to, this is the ABI. It's they claim to be 54 watts. So this is definitely the highest power one. You can feel it right away. You get that higher power. You can hear the fan running. Definitely hear that fan. It's a very, you know, it's more high pitched. You got that fan running. So you got the fan, and again you've got the milligauss to show the fan's going. This one's up to 40 just in a little bulb. And again, so you got 40 milligauss, you got a high electric field again, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's clicking off the chain, and we're at over 1,000. So, you know, you can see I'm holding this in my hand. You're not going to drop dead from it immediately, but is it something that raises your heart rate, raises your blood sugar, raises your stress levels? It'll agitate my tinnitus for a while. So, you know, I won't die from it, but is it something you want to do? That's your choice. I'm just trying to lay out the facts. So like I said, this is the highest power bulb. If all you care about is power, get the ABI, and try to ignore the EMFs and the flicker. But otherwise, yeah, if you just want power, this one delivers. All right, let's go to the Bestqool. Bestqool. I don't know. So this one's nice and quiet, no fan, just like the Wolzek. So we can see, let's just for contrast, when you have no fan, it's 0.2, so practically no milligauss. So much lower EMF on this one, just because there's no fan, and that's what I've been telling people for a long time. If you eliminate the fans, magnetic field can be much less. Electric field is still a problem. There's nothing there's nothing you can do. The bulb itself isn't the problem. It's how you plug it in, and you need like some sort of, like I said, grounded lamp stand or enclosure. But otherwise, I tested this one. It's a low flicker. It's lower magnetic field, which is good. This one's probably one of the lower on the power level. So even though it's a little bit almost, I would say, safer in terms of EMF and flicker, it's better in those regards. It definitely has one of the lowest powers in the ranking. So again, that's a trade-off. Do you want something? I prefer things that are a little bit lower power and lower EMF and lower flicker. I'm happier with that. Some people just want power, and that's okay too. So that's the Bestqool. Last one is the Hooga, and the Hooga is interesting. It's a nice design. I've seen this design before. Very common design. No fan again, so you get low magnetic field, just like the Bestqool and just like the Wolzek. They have a low magnetic field. And I've been trolled on my last light bulb review, telling people they shouldn't be holding it by the stem, watch out for electrical content, just like what I'm doing here that you shouldn't do, is I'm unplugging these bulbs and having a live connection exposed that if I dip my finger in I could electrocute myself. Whatever, don't do what I show on video. So again, and there's nothing you're holding, the electric cord right in your hand. And I think Hooga is kind of funny because they include this is the wire that's included with Hooga. And they say, oh, we're 0 EMF at 6 inches away. But all their pictures on their web, on the listing, all their pictures in the instruction manual shows people holding it in their hand and like aiming at 6 inches away. I'm like, well, this hand isn't 6 inches away. Like, what are they talking about? How do you So they include this thing. Like I said, people are trolling me like, of course you would get a lamp stand. Everyone knows that. This company is telling people to use it in your hand. So again, I'm not the crazy one. I'm just trying to make sure. If Hooga's including a cord like this and telling people to hold it, I'm saying maybe you want to ditch the cord and get a proper lamp and be actually 6 inches away, like they even say. You get 0 inch, and that's not even right. But try to follow some sense. And the company, it's every direction. Companies are always giving me the wrong info, right? So anyway, so that's my picking on Hooga, because what are they doing? So let me show you. You know what I mean? I'm not just making it up. Here. The electric field, again, still the same as all the others. 1200 at the surface where you're holding it. 300. A little bit more at the stem, so don't hold it, once you get closer to the stem, it's even higher. But even if you're holding it at the cord, 400. So they're telling you to hold it, and that's a bad idea. It's pretty problematic. The milligauss is about 1. It goes up to 4 here, but 2 here. So not tremendously high milligauss, but it's definitely high in milligauss. It's measurable. It's not 0. So again, I'm like, what are we doing? So again, they're measuring intensity wrong. That's fine. It does emit really good intensity for a light that doesn't have a fan built in. It has pretty good intensity. I measured it out. So, and they're also low flicker, which is good. I'm always happy when companies are low flicker. So it's just the problematic of the instructions, really. I would say this would be almost my top pick, and then you just ditch the cord and you get a better lamp stand or whatever. But really, you know, it's just comical. You know, like it's crazy. So you need to realize what's going on. So that's it. Again, hopefully this helps clarify where we should be looking, where we should be shopping. Unfortunately, none of them are giving you accurate intensity measurements. You know, they're not telling you about the EMFs up close. My tinnitus is already screaming. They're not telling you about, you know, if you hold it in your hands or you hold it up close. What if you hold it to your head? You know, what's that going to do? And again, certain people might not be affected by EMFs, and that might be fine. Some people are hypersensitive, and you know, I've got a built-in kind of EMF meter in my own brain with the tinnitus. So you know, that's what I have to deal with. So I have to design all my lights and design all my panels to be as low EMF as possible. Otherwise, you know, all these bulbs, they perform similarly. You know, some of them give you the wrong, you know, wavelength. Some of you know, really underperform on intensity and high flicker and are just a massive disappointment. And then, you know, some of them are low flicker, lower magnetic field, but still high electric field. And, you know, the intensity you can work with. This one's got better intensity, but both of these are lower flicker, which is nice. And then, again, with the ABI, it's got the highest intensity, but you got to deal with some magnetic field and some flicker. So again, there's pros and cons. You got to decide what works best for you and how to use it safely, and hopefully you have a good experience with a bulb like this, and you choose to buy something higher quality in the future or something bigger, and you know where to find some better stuff in the future. So hopefully that helped. You know, I learned a lot when I measure all these bulbs. I'm always interested in measuring different products from different brands and seeing what's going on. So if you ever have questions, let us know. Thanks.